Okay guys, let's swap the tubes for my Marshall SV20 head. The power amp is loaded with two EL34 tubes. And these guys are the preamp tubes, they are EC883. And this one is the phase splitter tube, which is the same type of tube like the preamp tubes. When you work with the amplifiers, take out the power cable. Inside the amp there are lethal voltages, so don't touch inside of the amp. These new Marshall Studio Series small amplifier heads are cathode biased, so you don't need to adjust the bias. So basically the tubes are just plug and play. And to get access to the amplifier itself, you need to take out, of course, the cabin. 4 screws here, 4 screws also in the bottom, and then you just pull this out, but don't touch inside of the amplifier. My Marshall head has the original tube still in it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with these, but I just thought it would be interesting to try out something new. So here I have the Russian Tangsol EL34s for power amp and ECC 83s to preamp, and these are JJ MG tubes. So the amplification of these guys is a little lower than, for example, the regular S series JJ. I think the amp gives pretty much preamp gain, so I thought I change a little milder tube so I get more clean headroom. Okay, let's go. Access for the first preamp tube, we need to just twitch the cover and it gets off. Just pull these out, maybe a little wiggle. I think these are non-branded Chinese tubes, since it says Marshall. Obviously Marshall doesn't make tubes by its own. So I bet these are from a random Chinese factory. I don't think it's necessary, but since tubes get hot, I use paper, so if there's any grease coming out of the fingers, it doesn't get stuck on the tubes. For preamp you can use pretty much all the combination you like. It's not that they need to be balanced or matched pair or anything. You can try out whatever you like, as long as they are this ECC 83 or 12 AX7. Other is European, other is American. Prescription for the tube. Cover back. I needed to change the camera angle for this because I need 2 hands for the preamp tubes. Like I said, it's cathode biased amp, so it means that you shouldn't and you can't adjust the bias. So the amplifier kinda does the job for you. So you only only swap these out and put the new ones in. So but with power amp tubes you need to buy the balanced or matched pair. And usually the tube or electronic shops, if you buy 2 power amp tubes or 4, they'll sell you the matched pair, so that's no problem. Check this out. Yeah. The amp has this little metal thing. Push these, wiggle the tubes out. And of course we don't want to use too much force for this, so the tubes won't break. And as you can see, these also say Marshall on them, but these tubes are actually the stock tubes of this SV20 head. They are made by JJ, which is a Slovak company. These are made in Slovakia, in European Union. It's a good brand of tubes, and obviously because Marshall doesn't have a own factory, they just rebrand these, but these are JJ EL34 tubes. So if you think about changing JJ tubes for the power amp of your Marshall head, you shouldn't do it, because obviously the stock tubes are already JJ's. Well, I'm using tongue sole this time. Same procedure but in reverse. Tongue sole tubes are made in Russia. Actually there's only 3 countries today where all the tubes are made, either in Russia, Slovakia or China. Usually some brands like Ruby or Groovy tubes or Mesabuki, they're just rebranded Chinese tubes. So you might as well buy Chinese tubes straight from the manufacturer than spending extra money on Mesas or Groovy tubes or something. Okay, we're ready. So I left the face splitter there original. Of course the first preamp tube, the second one little, they affect a lot on the sound, so if you want to try out new sounds, I suggest replacing the first preamp tube. Usually tongue soles are a little brighter than JJ, so I expect brighter sound from this amp and less preamp gain, because I use this ECC 883 MG type of tube. Yeah, okay. In the end of the video I put a sound example I recorded with the original tubes, and now I'm going to record the same exact riff with the new setup. And I'll be using this VOX amp as a cabinet. I have changed warehouse speakers, Blackhawk alnico, to this. So the signal you'll be hearing is the SV20 with the Blackhawk alnico speaker, and I'm using SM58 beta as a recording microphone. The same setup I used with the original tubes already.
Bye.